It admits the fantastic games that have been released this year, and the plethora of exciting games that are planned for release sometime this year. It's no surprise that some smaller indie games might fly under the radar. Enter Boomerang X, an arcade arena FPS game by Dang that sees you fight off a weird black spirits as you travel through mysterious realms that can only really be described as one balls to the wall trip. Boomerang X is without a doubt one of the oddest yet most pleasurable experiences I've had with games this year. It's a first-person arena shooter game centralized around using a boomerang. Except, if you look closely, that ain't no boomerang. It's a glaive. So if you're expecting a game titled Boomerang X to actually have boomerangs in it, I'm sorry to disappoint you. Seriously, this is such a minor detail that you can easily overlook it when you're playing through. I mean, it's only going to bother you if you let it bother you. I mean, the glaive acts like a boomerang anyway, so you just gotta get over the visuals, I guess. But one issue I actually did have with this game was just how short it is. I beat the game in around 80 minutes, and have gotten to around halfway on New Game Plus. Obviously, this will vary for player to player because skill is a huge part of your ability to progress in this game. I'd say controller would make for a more enjoyable experience. However, keyboard and mouse is so important given the speed and accuracy of the game like this. I'd recommend trying out both and seeing what's more comfortable for you. But enough of me rambling, let's get into the review. Given just how short the game is, you're probably expecting there to be little to no story. And you're completely right. The premise of the story is that there's these dark beings that are arising from the cracks of the world again, and that it's your job to prevent these beings from emerging into the world once more, using their own powers to stop them. It's not a narrative blockbuster for sure. It's simplistic, but it's not the focus here. You can tell all the attention went to the combat and the glorious fighting arenas in this game. If you came here for a rich narrative game, I'm sorry to disappoint, but Boomerang X just isn't it. Boomerang X has a huge focus on precision and quick, swift decision making. With a wide range of tools at your disposal, you can quickly eliminate priority targets with a range of various techniques. You have the ability to briefly slow time, the ability to dash to your boomerang, the ability to snipe enemies from afar, and many more. None of these are really original ideas, yet this game seems to intertwine these abilities so well that they all seem to complement one another. Like dashing to your boomerang to get behind an enemy, then slowing down time to land that precise shot before the momentum takes you across the room. I don't want to get too into explaining the combinations, the different mechanics possible in this game, simply because it's something worth exploring for yourself as you unlock each of the abilities. The tools that the player have available to them are really fun and powerful, to the point where it was fun to just use them as you travel from one arena to the next. The credit doesn't just go to the abilities at your disposal. The enemies and enemy variety really crank up the pressure and make for a challenging yet extremely rewarding experience. Each arena has a plethora of enemies in what is considered a reasonably tight space to work with. It helps to create pressure on the player and make for a somewhat stressful experience as you narrowly avoid enemies and try and create space between you and danger. That's the clever thing about this game. It uses various enemy types to create somewhat artificial priority system of what enemies to take out first. Do you clear all the smaller enemies so you have room to breathe, or do you clear the largest enemies first to take the pressure away from the situation? The game forces you to make quick decisions on what's more important to take out and how best to take it out. There are some enemies in the game that have wide area of effect attacks that essentially minimize the amount of space you have to move. There are also enemies that spawn more enemies. Again, it becomes this decision of what you believe to be more of a threat. Would you rather work with less room or work in a more crowded room? For a game focused on combat arenas, I can happily say it does a superb job at creating a challenging experience that is extremely fast paced. But don't worry though, because between stages you have plenty of time to take it at your own pace and relax, creating a dynamic of chaotic battles to calm and relaxing backdrops. Boomerang X strikes a balance between the two. Overall, I'd say that Boomerang X is a great game, worthy of your time. Given how short the game could be depending on how skillful you are at it, I recommend this as a game to play in between others. I think for anyone who's a fan of an FPS game, this is a great game to just play every now and again. And even if you're not a fan of FPS games, this is a refreshing experience that is challenging and extremely rewarding to overcome the many difficulties you'll face when playing this game. Thanks for watching, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you could leave a like and comment and subscribe, it'd be greatly appreciated.